You are listening to The Fortress. What's going on, everybody? You're just watching another edition of The Fortress. Now, I'm back to tell you a little bit about my take from a biblical perspective, because I'm going to cite some biblical verses, some Bible verses that kind of back up some of the line of thinking of what a lot of our new leaders in this country believe in. And as far as making our own nation safe. And I just wanted to kind of talk about the wall for a second. I kind of got a little passionate about this on my radio show. Now, since I've been able to vent a little bit, I feel a little better now. But I've got to say, part of this whole message comes about because I'm tired of being labeled myself. People are labeling me and other believers like me, my coworkers, fellow police officers, other people I talk to, people at church. Guy who came, one of my good friends, Harley, came and put up a light that was a little too high for me today because I don't have a ladder big enough. So he came and put up our front outside light. And we were just chatting. He came right in the middle while I was recording my radio show. We're being labeled as racist. And how dare us be so unchristian because we're not total pacifists and we're not willing to turn the other cheek and just let people walk all over us. We're not supposed to protect ourselves and keep ourselves in control. You could see, actually the building of a wall will help us do that. And I'm going to explain more about that in a minute. Let me just give you some analogies first to understand here. Just for those of you who are thinking just with your hearts and emotions, I'm just going to make something pretty simple. What do you see at gas stations, convenience stores, that protect cashiers? In high crime areas, you will see a lot of those stores, those convenience stores, and there's like this reinforced glass, maybe even bars across it in some places, to protect the cashier inside, the person who is working in there. Right? It's their temporary residence for the day, really, but it's where they work. And they're protected from people who want to commit crimes against them or against the store. And property is also protected within the reinforced barrier. Those protective glass walls. Money is protected, cash register, whatever. And yet there's limited entry in and out of there. And the person inside that protected barrier can decide who comes and goes inside for their own safety. What's wrong with that? I mean, you don't see people lining up outside gas stations saying, "Hey, why are you protected in there? What's up with that? Hey, I want your money. I want to come in and take that." Well, it's not the same, Jason. That's not the same. Actually, it kind of is. Just on a global scale. Just a big scale. Walls are for security. Walls are for protection. We're not trying to become some isolated country. We're just trying to protect our own a little bit here. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. The other thing that we got to talking about was this whole sanctuary cities thing. Really? You don't think you're breaking the law by having sanctuary cities? Really? Let me tell you something. when I was with Greenville County Sheriff's Office, I wasn't there that long, but I was there long enough. You know, we would go and look for somebody to serve warrants on. They would have active warrants on them, and we'd go try to serve them. We'd try to hunt this person down by talking to this person and that person, try to find out where they are. And lo and behold, if they're hiding in somebody's house, and that person in the house knows we're looking for them, and yet they still hide them, and we come back and find out later what are the people in the house guilty of? What is it? Oh, somebody tell me? Harboring fugitives. Yeah, that's right. So your whole freaking sanctuary city, a whole city, you're just harboring fugitives. That's not rocket science, that's just fact. I'll argue with any lawyer in the country over that. That's just stupid. Can't even believe it's even an issue. In California, well, hell, they want to secede. Go ahead and let them. We don't need Hollywood. Heck, we could come up with our own little southeastern version of Hollywood right here in South Carolina. I'll join up. I'll make movies. I mean, seriously, folks. Stop getting your panties in a wad over stuff for security. Stop it. Just stop it. It's not lack of compassion. It's wanting to take care of yourself and wanting to take care of what's in your home. This nation is my home. This nation is our home. America is the home for Americans. If you're outside of America, you don't belong here unless you want to become part of our home. And when you become part of somebody else's home, you abide by their rules. This is not a foreign concept, and at one time it was quite popular. And when that was the most popular concept of the day, this certain country called the USA was actually blossoming. So, is it so wrong? Let's look at it from a biblical perspective. I've got some verses here. Let's listen to some of this, all right? Just so you people don't think I'm just being totally unchristian. That's not biblical. Okay, well, in 2 Chronicles chapter 14, it talks about how Asa did what was good and right in the eyes of the Lord. Talks about why he removed a lot of idols in the area around Judah. And so basically he's talking to Judah. He's talking to his kingdom. And it says, he removed the high places and incense altars in every town in Judah, and the kingdom was at peace under him. So it was at peace. It was a peaceful time. Yet, better safe than sorry, he built up the fortified cities of Judah. What do you do when you fortify a city? You build a wall. So he fortified the cities of Judah. Since the land was at peace, he was able to do that. No one was at war with him during those years, for the Lord gave him rest. Let us build up these towns, he said to Judah, and put walls around them, with towers, gates, and bars. The land is still ours, because we have sought the Lord our God. We sought him, and he has given us rest on every side. So they built and prospered. Why do you suppose they were able to prosper? Well, even though it was a time of peace. You think a bunch of criminals were just climbing right in the wall? No. No, I'm sure people did get in that weren't supposed to, but they probably kind of leaked in a little bit at a time. You didn't see like a whole Olympic team jumping over the wall. So, there's one verse. I've got a lot more. I told you I've vented on the radio already. I guess it wasn't enough, because I don't like blindness. I'm trying to help remove some blinders out there, okay? 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 1. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married his daughter. He brought her to the city of David until he finished building his palace and the temple of the Lord, and, wait for it, the wall around Jerusalem. Now, people are up in arms because we're just trying to build a wall across the border. We're not surrounding our whole country. We're just trying to stave off where we've had the most problems. And if you don't think the most problems have been coming from there, oh my goodness, you're not paying attention. Ezra 9:9. Though we are slaves, our God has not forsaken us in our bondage. He has shown us kindness in the sight of the kings of Persia. He has granted us new life to rebuild the house of our God and repair its ruins. Ruins. What was ruined? Oh, and he has given us a wall of protection in Judah and Jerusalem. God, these walls are such an unchristian concept. Isaiah 26:1. In that day this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. God makes salvation its walls and ramparts. Why would we compare salvation to a wall? Well, because see, walls keep things safe. You know, safety is kind of a root of the word salvation. I'm telling you, I got more. Oh wait, there's more. Nehemiah 2:17. Then I said to them, you see the trouble we are in? Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burned with fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, big holy city there, and we will no longer be in disgrace. I also told them about the gracious hand of my God on me and what the king had said to me. It's kind of sounding so far like God's actually in favor of walls. Just going to put that out there for you. Oh, people are really not going to like this. A lot of people refer to something out there called common sense. I don't think it exists anymore because it's not that common. So here's some uncommon sense for you. Proverbs, okay? For some of you out there, Proverbs is a whole book written by supposedly the wisest man that ever lived. That's what a lot of people say about King Solomon. So, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. How could that apply to our national situation? Well, let's see. As if we have a broken wall, a broken border, a broken barrier of safety. It's kind of like we lack self-control. How do we lack self-control in this country? Well, what's out of control in this country? Violent crime, illegal drugs, the illegal drug trade, drug lords, gangs, people stealing jobs, people stealing our money, people who don't belong here and they don't take the legal steps to be here legally, and then they send money back to whoever back in the other country below that border. Wait, what else is out of control? Maybe the potential for terrorism? Where could somebody, let's see, if I wanted to cause harm to America, would I want to go through the most secure entries or the least secure? Oh, they have a weakness down on that southern border. Yeah, because 700 something miles was approved to be built of at least double fencing, and we didn't even do that. So they're pretty weak down there. Let's do that. Guys, I hope you're getting this. I hope you realize what I'm saying here. And just for kicks, I'll mention Revelation chapter 21. Starts in verse 9. It talks about the new city of Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem descending down from the heavens. And describing that city, I didn't read the verses because there's too many. It's pretty long, lengthy to put on here. It describes the measurements of an immense wall. A wall itself is not an unchristian concept. A lot of this stuff has nothing to do with race. It has to do with geography, region. Kind of like the whole, now it's not even a travel ban, just an adjustment period to get a good vetting process, since the enemy has said they're going to hide amongst the innocent. I'm going to get into that later. All right, so chew on that for a little bit. I'm going to come back after this break.
Sometimes a person has to die to their old selves and become something new entirely. Robert Brady is such a man. Follow the man who has been an assassin, a soldier, a husband, a father, and a believer. But now the world thinks he's dead. After a teenage prodigy uses the miracle of science to bring him back from the dead, Brady must rediscover more of his past and adjust to a darkening world around him. Part of this book follows Brady through his journey down memory lane as he goes through what the prodigy refers to as memory building. When out of his memory building sessions, he learns of certain side effects caused by the science prodigy's tampering. When building his memory, he learns what a dangerous man he used to be. After an unfortunate flashback, Brady and the kid somehow part ways. Before long, he comes upon a town about to undergo an incredible evil. Can the people of the town accept a man formerly known as the Jesus Assassin? Can Robert Brady regain a part of himself that the townspeople can trust? Read the next thrilling story in the John Knox universe where the dual nature in one man will never be more tested. In Book 1 of the Brady Chronicles, Dead Memories.
Welcome back. You're not going to believe this. I already recorded a lot of this video, and I have to start all over because somehow I ran out of space on my video camera. So, I had to go in and delete some things. Maybe that gave me a chance to calm down because I was on a roll. No, seriously, on a serious note, I also wanted to talk about self-defense. Of course, as it relates to self-defense, I mean, one of the things I do as part of my job is help people learn how to defend themselves. But I wanted to also talk about self-defense and apply it to our nation. We have the right to defend ourselves as a nation from outside threats. And that's what a lot of people are having a problem with. And they're just buying hook, line, and sinker, whatever the mass media tells them. Oh, they say the word Muslim ban. One guy on a mass media channel in an interview says the words Muslim ban, and oh no, we're discriminating against that whole religion. No, it's not about that. It's not about religious discrimination. It's not about race. It's about geography, a geographical region, and it's about what's most common in that region, the biggest threat from that region, and we are protecting ourselves from that threat. That's how simple it gets, really. All right, but I'm going to explain how, biblically speaking, trying to stall things and figure out how to protect ourselves from that is okay. You know, a lot of people, they just want to spout off, turn the other cheek. Especially non-Christians. They want to throw that at us. What about turn the other cheek? Turn the other cheek. Well, first of all, it's not say turn the other cheek doesn't mean, oh, go ahead and everyone become martyrs. Because see, if ISIS gets their way, that's kind of what would happen, right? So if everyone becomes martyrs, and I don't know about you, but you see, my God's an almighty God who would come up with a winning plan. That's not a winning plan if all of your believers, all the people you want to believe in you, die. It's just not. I mean, granted, could he just come in and wipe out all the sinners just like that? Sure. But there's a plan in place. And in the meantime, until the rest of that plan is kind of enacted, till Jesus returns, we have the right to defend ourselves. We don't have to just bend over backwards and let people push us around. And I'm going to tell you some examples, biblical examples of that. All right? So just because I'm not a total pacifist or a total pushover doesn't mean I'm not a good Christian. I'm not a Christian. That's unchristian of you. And I'm certainly not a racist. I've got friends from different races that could tell you that. All right, so let's just look at maybe one stance Jesus takes towards weapons. And I'm going to jump right into the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 36. He said to them, he's talking to his disciples, But now let the one who has a money bag take it, and likewise a knapsack. And let the one who has no sword sell his cloak and buy one. For I tell you that this scripture must be fulfilled in me. And then he quotes scripture here. And he was numbered with the transgressors. For what is written about me has its fulfillment. And they said, Look, Lord, here are 2 swords. And he said to them, It is enough. So he's basically saying, all right, guys, go ahead and arm yourselves, because we're going down to the Garden of Gethsemane. Yeah, Gethsemane. Let's say that 5 times fast. And so he knows what's about to happen. This is the Son of God. He knows he has to fulfill the prophecy. He knows what he's about to have to do. He knows they're going to be accosted, arrested by the Romans. This is the Son of God. I mean, he could probably smite the Romans if he wanted to, right? Just call down lightning. But he doesn't. And instead, he tells his disciples to take swords. Why would he do that? Perhaps to defend themselves, if they had to. What if bandits came out of nowhere? Why would he say it? If it were not okay to have them for self-defense, why would he say it? Just imagery? Really? Think God was concerned about how it would look? So, there's one example. It sounds to me kind of like he's condoning the right to defend yourself there. The right for the disciples to defend themselves, should they have to. Did he know they wouldn't have to? I don't know. Maybe he knew what Peter would end up doing when Peter lopped off somebody's ear, and then he healed the guy's ear. So, there's one biblical example. What about chapter 11 in Luke? Now, I don't know all of the context around this. I've read it before, but I don't know exactly what's going on in all of chapter 11 here. But he does. There's an example here of self-defense. When a strong man, fully armed, guards his homestead, his possessions are undisturbed. But when someone stronger attacks him and overpowers him, he takes away from him all his armor on which he had relied and distributes his plunder. So the whole thou shalt not steal thing, obviously this attacker is not concerned with, because he would plunder all of the original strongman's belongings. Yet the strongman was armored, fully armed, guards his homestead. Apparently it was okay to guard something back then. Self-defense. So why do we as a nation not have a right to defend ourselves? What about this one? Now, this is a different way you'll hear this verse. A lot of times it's used to talk about the coming of the Lord, the second coming, and the timing. But I'm going to look at it a little different angle here. Matthew 24:43. If the owner of the house had known when the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. Would not have let his house be broken into. So, we're not supposed to let people break into our houses, right? Well, what would I do to not let somebody in? I mean, if they really want in and they come in, maybe they use force. What do I have to use to keep somebody from coming in if I'm not going to let them? Probably a little bit of force, maybe? Or am I just supposed to say, oh, wait, here's my other cheek. Hey, go ahead. Come on in. No. It's understood. It was understood back then that it's natural to defend yourself. Self-defense was just understood. If they understood it back then, why the heck can't we understand it now in 2017? I don't get it. I'm going to close with this one. All right. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 18. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. No, I am a firm believer in that right there. As it depends on me, I'm going to live at peace with everyone. If it's up to me, that's what I'm going to do. It also says, if it is possible. If it is possible. So that kind of means, oh, but it might not be possible because the other person might not agree. Might not ever agree. The other person might be the problem. ISIS might be the problem. Here's the craziest thing about our own country. Who should we really be blaming here for this whole refugee problem? Who should we be blaming? Is it Trump's fault? Is it really our country's fault? Well, okay, indirectly, that yes. But as far as ideologies go, radical thinking, radical religion, or radical version of a religion, whose fault is it that these refugees are needing a place to live anyway? ISIS, the terrorists. It's their fault. Because look, if we had our way, we'd let everybody in, right? Because that's America. That's what the Statue of Liberty is all about. Actually, no, the Statue of Liberty is called the Statue of Liberty, not the Statue of Immigration, but that's another story altogether. So, deep breath. That's my take on all of this. I got to vent a little bit even on this video too. So you'll see this on YouTube. This is The Fortress. Signing off.